Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, the Los Angeles Lakers got just absolutely beat on by the Phoenix Suns. I don't really know what to think. I don't know if they have some issues. I don't know if this will be worked on. Who really knows? But the NBA right now, it's finally the season, and it is getting juicy. So if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. It is greatly appreciated. Aiming for 10K subs by the end of the year, so all new subs are greatly appreciated. I mean, the game is technically still going on right now. It's pretty late in the fourth quarter. The Lakers season is not going as planned right now. I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's Russell Westbrook. I don't know if it's the bench. Keep in mind, 10 of their players are brand new. Like, they're just brand new acquisitions. It was kind of funny. They're showing the Los Angeles Lakers offseason acquisition, and it's like 10 dudes. I mean, for any other game, like if you're watching like the Heat or if you're watching the Rockets, it's like 2 or 3 players. But for the Lakers, it's like 10 guys. There was an altercation on the bench between Dwight Howard and Anthony Davis. That happened in the second quarter, at the end of the second quarter, and it was pretty much when that happened, the Lakers had no chance. I mean, they really had no chance to win the game. Prior to that altercation, I would say there was definitely a chance. It was pretty slim, like definitely lower than, let's say, 30%, but they definitely had a little bit of a chance. It wasn't until the third quarter that they really just kind of blew them away. Became like a 30-point game at a point in the third quarter, and it was like, yeah, there's no way the Lakers are coming back from that. I don't know. I don't believe we actually have any word on what the altercation was. I've seen a lot of funny memes, like they're debating about the top 75 NBA player list. There's a bunch of memes going on, but basically Anthony Davis kind of walks up to Dwight Howard on the bench and just kind of pushes him. And it was really weird because this is something you don't see from Anthony Davis. Dwight Howard's pretty chirpy. Like he's a guy who likes to talk a lot. I mean, he'll get in like altercations, but to me, I want players to be held accountable. So I don't know what it was. I don't really want to speak too much on it because I don't know what the altercation was specifically about, but all I know is I want guys to be held accountable, and especially a team like the Los Angeles Lakers, you have all these veteran guys, like you have all these championship players, like you need to be responsible. You need to hold yourself accountable. You need to hold your teammates accountable. So if it's not meshing in the locker room, they're going to have huge issues. I mean, this is something that has never ever been an issue for LeBron James. Like in any team he's ever been on, I've never been worried once about the locker room and about like locker room threats, locker room cancers. And I'm looking at this team in particular. We've seen Rondo and him mesh, obviously the championship. We've seen Dwight and him mesh too. But I look at guys like Rondo, Westbrook, and Dwight Howard. I look at 3 players who just have strong personalities. They've been in the league for a while. They have this kind of respect just from their veteranness and their pedigree, their championship pedigree. Like it just seems like there could be some room for dysfunctionality, whatever the word is. Like that's a legitimate concern for this Lakers team. So let's take a look at some more specific stats. I mean, it was ugly, dude. It literally was just like at no point in this game, except for the first quarter, outside of the first quarter, that it was like the Lakers aren't looking bad. And that was pretty much the main focal point. There was just something about it that wasn't fitting. And I will say this, the Phoenix Suns, they played phenomenal defense. They played phenomenal offense. I mean, anytime you can hold a team below 100 points, you're looking at something good there. So Chris Paul, he had a double-double at halftime. I mean, he had, 10 or 11 assists going into halftime. Chris Paul ended the game with 19 points and 12 assists. Didn't really have to do much in the third quarter. No one on Phoenix really had to do much in the third quarter. Nonetheless, they still scored 37 points. Chris Paul was still making his mid-range jump shots that were contested, and there was just no slowing down this Phoenix Suns team. What the hell? I don't like ESPN when they play random. Man, that's just a random ad. Like the hell, that scared the hell out of me. Oof. All right, let's move on to Devin Booker. 8 of 16, 1 of 4 from downtown, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, 19 points. Pretty solid game from Devin Booker. I wouldn't say it was anything crazy. I don't think outside of Miles Bridges had a really good game. Like they just had a lot of play. Like their whole team just played well. Like they just made their shots. They were playing as a team. They were playing as a unit. They just looked better than the Lakers in every way, shape, and form, except maybe 3-point shooting. The Lakers actually shot the ball deep pretty well tonight. But moving on, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, 14 rebounds, 8 points. Nothing too crazy in the point category, but all 14 of those rebounds. I mean, he definitely demonstrated his presence in the paint. A lot of these statistics, and it's kind of just a running theme with all of Phoenix except for players like maybe Devin Booker on a night-to-night basis, where it's just good team chemistry. It's just a good team game that they play every single time they step out onto the court. Miles Bridges, like I said, I feel like that was the second time I've said Miles Bridges. Mikal Bridges. Miles Bridges also had a good game. He dropped 30 points in Charlotte tonight, but Mikal Bridges, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 7 of 10 from the field, 2 of 4 from downtown. Like he was just another added on piece. Jay Crowder, offensively, defensively, he's going to give you everything he's got. 10 points, 5 rebounds for him. Moving on to the bench, JaVale McGee, actually 9 points, 4 rebounds. He played really good. And that's a piece that I'm sure the Los Angeles Lakers wish they had, was JaVale McGee, especially considering he's been in the system. Let's move on to the Lakers here. There isn't much to talk about. I mean, LeBron James is still shooting the 3 ball really well. I think that's something that should be noted. 4 of 6 from downtown tonight, 7-15 from the field. Only 2 rebounds and only 3 assists for LeBron. He did have 20 points, did have 4 turnovers. There's just something about this Lakers team right now that isn't meshing at all. I mean, Anthony Davis, he had 4 points at halftime. That's inexcusable. You can't have 4 points at halftime. And that's kind of where I go back to that Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis altercation, where it's like AD looked like he was going on Dwight Howard. And it's like, what are you, if you're getting mad at something, go put up more than 4 points. I don't know what to tell you, AD. Like, I'm hoping this team doesn't have locker room problems, but I mean, that wasn't a good sign. 4 of 16 from the field, 12 rebounds, 16 points. It was a bad game from AD. I mean, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, and a steal. You look at that and you're like, oh, he played pretty good. 4 of 16, no, he did not have a good game at all. Kent Bazemore, streaky shooter. You're going to witness this a lot this season. He's a very on and off shooter. 1 of 5 from the field tonight, 1 of 3 from downtown, 4 points. DJ, 10 minutes, did nothing really. Russell Westbrook, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. Outside of the first quarter, I feel like they were pretty much empty statistics. Moving on to the bench, Melo, I'm a little worried about his impact on this team. I don't know if he's actually like a good fit. We'll see if he is. Hopefully he is. I really hope he is, because he's Melo and I want him to get a ring. Tonight, 2 of 3 from downtown, 3 of 8 from the field. A lot of it was in garbage time. Rondo played, pretty solid. Monk's another solid piece for this Lakers team. I actually really like Monk, and, I've always been big on Rondo being on this Lakers team. I don't want to talk too much about the statistics, because the bench statistics, because the game's not over yet. Like I said, the game is at the very end of the fourth quarter. 20-point loss right now for the Lakers. So this was just ugly. It was just ugly. It was embarrassing. You're at home. I mean, there's no excuses, man. You've lost 2 games at home like this, just in embarrassing ways. And I don't think it's a Russell Westbrook issue. I don't know what the issue is. I think, honestly, the issue is you just have 10 new acquisitions at the very, you have at least 10 new acquisitions trying to play, trying to mesh together. You have Frank Vogel, who in my opinion isn't really a great coach anyways, but he's trying to figure out rotations. He's trying to figure out who meshes, who doesn't mesh. And it's a long season, man. There's 80 more of these for the Lakers, so I don't think it's anything to worry about from their side. From Phoenix side, I think this is really reassuring. Like, they're able to beat down a team on the road like the Lakers with good fashion. I mean, it was a good statement victory for them. They'll be back in the playoffs this year, and they're definitely here to stay. So altogether, it was a pretty interesting Friday night, but that's it for me. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. I'll see you guys tomorrow.